This is completed. Now, next, what we need to do? Here, the code is in Cloud Formation, the TypeScript. So we want to create the resources. But before that, let me quickly show you a couple of things. One is, do we have any SQSQ and SNS topic? So this is a SQSQ screen. No queues available right now, right? So currently there are no queues. And SNS topic, we have 7 topics. I need to clean up. Okay. So, but we don't have any topics like a my test, my app, and all. So only 7 topics available now. So now here we need to do CDK deploy. But as I told you, if you want to continuously monitor what is happening there and all, let me go into that. My app, npm run watch. So if you gave this, you see here starting compilation in watch mode. What are the modification you're doing in the code? It will compile automatically. So that is a standard way. It is not mandatory, right? So now the next command is CDK deploy. When we click on enter, automatically you see here whatever the resource we are creating by using this programming language and all, those all resource it will take and it will waiting for our confirmation. Okay, it is going to create a resource, it is going to create an SQS topic, it is going to create an SNS topic. Do you really want to deploy this? If I gave Y, the deployment will happen. Click on enter. So sometime back we don't have any SNS topics, or we have 7 SNS topics. Now it is become 8. Okay. Now it become 8. And if we go to this SQS, we don't have any queues, but now we have 1 queue. You see this? So automatically whatever the SNS SQS queue created, this is the one, right? It is not completed yet. It is still happening. So it is creating resource. So we have written in TypeScript. We have written in TypeScript, but end of the day, it is converting to CloudFormation and it is deploying. So far the commands are CDK init to initialize what project based on the language, the folder structure will come, CDK init. So then CDK bootstrap is only one type. Then CDK deploy. Make sure you associate appropriate role. So now the deployment is completed. So if we go here, if we select SNS topic and all, if we give a refresh, you see here an SNS topic is created. The SQS queue is subscribed here, and SQS also created here. I have not created this manually. The code itself created this resource. Fine. I changed my mind. I want to delete these resources. So simply, I can go to my code and basically this particular part is doing it, right? I'm deleting it. Okay. So then save. I have saved it. As I told you, so this run watch is going to do all that backend. What exactly changes happen? It will continuously verify that it will do. Now, so I want to do the new deployment, but I want to verify what is the previous deployment and what is the current deployment changes I am performing. So CDK diff. You can use CDK space diff. It tells the differences from previous deployment to current deployment. I have deleted small part of code, right? So if I delete that code, the resource also should delete. But before that, I'm verifying. You see here, it is going to destroy these 4 components. So are you sure you want to? So then we can give CDK deploy, then click on enter. If you gave Y, so then it is going to delete all the resources. Now your responsibility or your part is writing this code. That, as you know, AWS supports 40 plus programming languages, right? So I'm not going to teach. Why? Because I'm not an expert. Pretty simple. Okay. So go here. See here. Now again, topics only 7 topics. SQSQ is deleted. So similar way, if you want to create an EC2 instance, you go to that particular part, write your code, it creates an EC2 instance. So all the thing you need to do is CDK deploy, CDK deploy. The command to destroy also CDK destroy. You can simply give CDK destroy instead of deleting the code, the project. If you want to delete entire project, you can do CDK destroy. Okay. So that is the mechanism here. So yeah, again, if you want to try with different programming languages, so the simply what you can do is completed. No, not yet. So based on your programming language, you go and you do init, and then you write in your own programming language. Okay. So that is a CDK part. Again, as I mentioned multiple times, this is not at all a certification topic. This is not at all a interview topic also, mainly for developers. Okay, that specific job role guys only. Spend some time and do this. Try to deploy a couple of resources, create an S3 bucket by using your own programming language, launch an EC2 instance, associate a role to your EC2 instance to access at S3, do such type of activities. Okay, remaining all, you guys no need to worry. You can even forget this topic also. Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, if you want to initiate in different programming languages, mkdir, I'm going to call it as a Python. I'm going to Python now. So the command is cdk init sample -app -language. Then we can give Python. So then it is initializing. It is initializing a Python program. Right? You see here, it created a Python one. So this is a Python one. Expand this. Okay. You see here, Python stack.py initialization app.py is a code where it performs the things. So this is a test stack. Same thing. This also is doing. So it is creating a SQSQ. It is creating an SNS topic. That SQSQ is subscribing to SNS. This part will do that. If you delete it, the resource will delete. If you deploy it, the resource will create. So if you are into Python, so you go to this unit. So then take this stack.py, then modify accordingly. Same thing, the TypeScript with Python, even if you want to test with Java and all, you can do that. Stick to one of the programming language which you are good at. Okay. So that is about CDK. Any questions on CDK or Cloud9? Very, very rare scenarios only we use this. Developers need to know some part of it. But again, not a certification question. So if you want to give a try, the CDK is free. The Cloud9 comes under free tier eligibility if you're taking T2 micro. So CDK won't cost you anything. SQS won't cost you anything. SNS won't cost you anything. Okay. So you can definitely give a try with that. All right. So I'm deleting this Cloud9. And that backend EC2 instance also will delete automatically. Right now, let's discuss what exactly containerization is. The Docker, the Kubernetes, ECS, right? So, what exactly the containers is, we will have an overview about it. Again, so Docker is recently gaining market share. But again, most of the companies, their workload still on legacy systems only. But in interview, right, they will ask you a lot of things. Okay. So, if, for example, if you go to Java, they will ask you Java, core Java, advanced Java, Hibernate, Thread, Springs, Node.js, right? What not everything. They will ask you, okay, do you know Python? They will ask you, do you know .NET? They will ask you, do you know rocket science? Right? They will ask you everything. But once you are into the job, are you going to work on all those things? Okay. So, no. So, even you see this in interview, this is going to be technical interview. And this is the actual job they allocate you. You see this. The technical interview, they will ask you, even in job description also, they will add all the things. Right. But once you are into the project, you really do that? No, right. Okay. This is the reality. This is a reality. Even in resumes, some resumes I have seen, like, they have added all the technologies we have in market. Yes, I've come across couple of. Okay, and some resumes, right? That guy added almost 80 services, 60 to 70 services in his resume, AWS services only. I asked only one question. Okay, that is port numbers of that services. He added Redshift. I asked him, okay, what is Redshift port number? He added Elastic Cache. I asked him, what is Elastic Cache port number? He added DynamoDB. Okay. So I asked him, what is DynamoDB port number? Generally, we don't have any port number, but he gave a number. Right. Okay, then fine. So some things happen. But, you know, that is a reality. So they will ask you a lot of things, even similar way. So even I faced one question regarding this containers. He asked me, I told him, okay, this is what I know, this is how exactly we work, this is how exactly we are using, we are exploring and all. The next question I asked him, okay, how much workload is currently is in containers in your project? I asked him the same question. He said, okay, we are just exploring. No workload is on, it's just in testing stage or dev stage only. We are doing some POCs. But you see, he's first of all, I have not added that into my resume. Okay, he asking, I'm answering, he's asking, I'm answering. Then I asked him this question. Then he stopped asking questions on the topic. Okay, so companies, yes, that is true. Companies still exploring Docker. Okay, so generally in organization, we don't adapt the technology that much easily. Even, when this AWS came to market in 2004, 2006 officially launched. But from how many years onwards you are hearing or the boom came? 16, 17 onwards. Okay. Luckily, I'm in a project from 2012 onwards. Okay. Even they forced me. I'm not really interested at that moment, but I feel lucky now. Okay. So, we generally don't. Even this Kubernetes, when you are assuming this Kubernetes or containers came, 2015, something like that. And some job profiles, they will ask for 10 years experience on Kubernetes. That is true. Okay. Right. So it's a very new technology. I'll share the resource where you can learn first thing. But before that, how to answer it in your resume instead of saying how you can add it to your resume. And in interview, how you can mention that you know something about this container. That till that point, I'll make you understand. First of all, why these containers came? The containers mechanism to reduce the resource waste. The logic is very simple. In general, earlier, like when my father's time or your father's time, at that time, do we have any apartments? Everybody individual houses. Okay. So that house also, even if our requirement is 2 rooms, we are going to build 2 rooms or 3 rooms. That's it. That's it, right? We are not going to, even if our family members are 3 or 4 members, we are not going to build an apartment or we are not going to build a 10 rooms house. Okay. So at the time, okay, we are going to take a place, we are going to build a house, but are we going to utilize all the resources? No, not really. Some resource wastage is there. So additional work is there, and we are not going to make money out of it. So then after what happened? Apartment culture came. Same land. The land is same, but instead of building only 2 BHK, what they're doing, they are building 2 BHKs, but 5 floors or 10 floors. Okay. So what we are doing, we are purchasing, okay, 2 BHK or 3 BHKs, we are purchasing. Correct. So there is no change in the land space. Okay. But we are getting more resources. Even that more resource also, for example, we have taken 2 BHK, but are we really using the 2 BHK? All the resources, for example, me, my wife, and kid. So not really using entire 2 BHK. 1 bedroom, like till the kid grows, we really don't use a child bedroom, right? So currently, all are at master bedroom only, and the child bedroom resource is wasting. This is virtualization mechanism. When coming to containerization, okay, why to waste a child bedroom? Let's give that for co-space, like co-living spaces. I'm going to use my master bedroom, but another couple who really want to use or who is really looking for a 2 BHK, they can come here, some common spaces. So, like, this culture is there in US, Canada, UK, and all, not here in India, but slowly India is okay, gaining. Right. So, the hall we both can share, the kitchen we both can share. Okay. But in a single house, in a single flat, not house, in a single flat, multiple users are staying. And the advantage is no resource wastage. They are using the resource fully. We are using resource fully. Entire resource is fully utilized. And when resource wastage is less, productivity is more, right? Okay. Now compare all the three. So first, the individual house is a server. The individual house without any apartment and all. Okay. Same space, but lot of wastage, resource wastage. End of the day, we are going to deliver an application. End of the day, we are going to deliver an application, but resource wastage is there. When that is a regular traditional mechanism, compute mechanism. When coming to this apartment culture, right? So same land, but multiple users are utilizing it. But again, still that resource wastage is there. Okay, to reduce that resource wastage, we are again came to this co-living spaces and all. So reducing the wastage, same concept here. Okay, so virtualization versus containerization. So whenever you observe this virtualization versus containerization, you see here, is there any change in the infrastructure here and here? No change in the infrastructure, but you see here, or you take any image, this is up. Right, here is a hardware. When coming to virtualization, so we need to install an operating system. On top of that operating system, hypervisor, then operating system, another operating system, then application is going to deliver. Earlier, nothing, earlier, no, not all these. Earlier only server, earlier only infrastructure, operating system deliver. No hypervisor, no other things also. Earlier mechanism is infrastructure, operating system, binaries or libraries, application is delivering, and your entire server, entire underlying infrastructure deliver only one application, entire server. But later what happened? Okay, why we need to deliver only one? So then what they did, on top of infrastructure, they added a hypervisor. What this hypervisor will do? It will convert this physical infrastructure to virtual interfaces, virtual resources. Then the guest operating system will come. Here an operating system, it will deliver it application 1. Here is another operating system, it will deliver application 2. Another operating system, deliver 3. All the 3 are delivering from same infrastructure, same resource. So reducing the wastage. Later, they got another thing, okay, do we really need this operating system? This operating system itself is consuming like 3 GB or 4 GB RAM, 30 GB storage. Do we really need to have this operating system? Can't we eliminate it and give that entire hardware to our application itself? When that thought came, the virtual containerization came. So, infrastructure, then an operating system is running. On top of this operating system, a container engine is running. Okay, so then, see, you see this guest operating system part is removed. Have you observed this right side diagram? The guest operating system part is eliminated. In place of that guest operating system, only one operating system came here. One operating system, so then multiple applications are running. So this is a containerization mechanism. Okay. Now, another advantage with this containerization is, so generally what happened? I'm using my laptop to develop an application. Correct. My laptop may have some softwares, some additional configurations or environment variables, all this set up properly. Okay. So I developed the application, whatever the output we got, I'm taking that application, I'm giving it to someone else. Now, that someone else's laptop is not configured same as my laptop. Then what happened is that application runs. No, right. My laptop, different configurations, it points to different locations and all. But in his laptop, different configurations point to different location where the file is not available actually. Settings not available actually. Or programs not available. Libraries not available actually. So in this scenario, what happens? It won't work in another laptop. So this thing also fixed with this containerization mechanism. So if it is working here, it works there. Okay. Why? Because we are going to keep everything, applications, libraries, and everything in an image. Okay. So this is an introduction to containerization. The purpose of containerization is resource wastage. Now I have a question. See, T2 micro is very small configuration, right? How many web servers we can deliver?
It's not audible, sir.
Am I not audible?
Audible, you are audible, Avinash.
You are audible, sir.
You're audible.
Okay. Okay, thanks. So someone complained that. Okay. Right. So yeah, T2 micro thing, right? So whenever you're taking T2 micro, how many web servers we can deliver? Hardly one. Why? Because the resource itself very less, only 1 GB RAM, 1 CPU only. Can we deliver multiple web servers with that small configuration? Hardly no, right? But if you're using virtualization mechanism, yes, you can utilize a resource fully. Okay? So that is the advantage. Now, what are the primary components we have in this virtualization? the primary components in this virtualization in AWS. So basically in AWS, we have three services. One is ECR, Elastic Container Registry. We discussed about code commit, right? So code commit is to store your code. But here for containers, we have a concept called image. Container image or Docker image. So end of the day, whatever the code you have and all, you are going to prepare it as, you are going to build it basically. You are going to build it. So you are going to place it in a location. That location is ECR. ECR will have our image, Docker image. That is the first component. So what you can do with that ECR, can you deploy it to an EC2 instance? Of course, if you want, you can. Okay, again with the help of two services. We have ECS and EKS. ECS means Elastic Container Service. EKS means Elastic Kubernetes Service. Okay, this Kubernetes, again, it is developed by Google and it is a bit complex one. Okay, so even Naresh IT also started a dedicated courses on this. So if you really want to, you can. Okay, Docker Kubernetes. Okay, so this what AWS did. This EKS is more complex, right? AWS simplified that EKS and they released their own version called ECS. They released their own flavor. That is what AWS will do, right? They have taken MySQL code, they released Aurora. They have taken Postgre, they developed Redshift. They have taken CentOS, the CentOS that Linux-based code, and they developed Amazon Linux too. So similar way, they have that Docker is an open source technology only. They have taken that EKS mechanism and all. They developed their own mechanism called ECS, Elastic Container Service. Okay. So I'm going to explain with that ECS. It contains multiple options. Total 3 options. One is containers on EC2 instance. Second one is Fargate. Third one is containers anywhere. Okay. So when coming to EC2, backend, we need to launch an EC2 instance. In backend, an EC2 instance will run. Sometime back for Cloud9, we created a Cloud9 and backend it created an EC2 instance, right? Similar way, an EC2 instance will launch in backend. Based on that EC2 instance configuration, application is going to deliver. Okay, that is EC2 method. The second method is Fargate. It is completely serverless. So you no need to choose the capacity, how many CPUs, how many, what exactly configuration you really required and all. No limitation. It scales automatically. It scales. You can create multiple tasks. Okay. So just like Lambda, it is serverless. That is Fargate. Third one is ECS Anywhere, that is recently introduced. So what we can do, we can have our own hardware. On top of that hardware, we can install that ECS engine and all. Okay, an agent we need to install and we can use it. So that is another mechanism. Don't worry about that. No one is using it. If we have enough hardware, we don't go to cloud and all. So that is not so popular yet. And not assuming in near real time, it may not gain that popularity. Fargate is very popular among these. Fargate is popular. Okay. So first of all, if you want to deliver something via Docker, we need to have an image, right? So we have a lot of official public images. Those all public images you can find under Docker Hub. There is a place called Docker Hub. You see here, just click on Explore. So we have 10,000 available results. So if you want to run Redis, HTTPD package, Node.js, MySQL, you can run everything as a image. For example, I want to run this Nginx. The package name is NGI NX. We need to know this. Okay. So from Docker Hub, I'm going to take an image, Nginx web page, Nginx code, and I'm going to run in my container, and I'm going to deliver a Nginx web page. That is what I'm going to do. Okay. So for this, again, we have a component called task definition. Okay. Basically, the task definition contains what image you want to deploy inside the container. To run that image, how much CPU you want to give, how much memory you want to give. Okay. So those all you are going to keep it as a template. I decided to run Nginx, right? Okay, I decided to run Nginx, but how much CPU I want to give, how much memory I want to give for this to run this Nginx web server. Okay, if I want to run 10 Nginxes, for every Nginx task, how much CPU, how much memory I want to allocate. Okay, so that we can define under a task definition. So first step is create a task definition. So go to ECS, Elastic Container Service. In left pane, you see there is an option called task definitions. Go to task definitions, click on create new task definition. So now, are you going to deploy this task definition into a Fargate or an EC2 or external? I told you we have three types, right? Fargate means no VPC required. Price based on the task size. If you VPC within run, without VPC also we can run. It is a AWS managed infrastructure, no EC2 instances to manage. You don't need to manage any EC2 instances. Okay, this is first one. Then EC2, multiple network modes, prices based on the resource usage, and self-managed. We need to manage the resources, EC2 instances. Okay, so as I told you, I'm going with EC2, Fargate. So this self-managed, it's an on-premise infrastructure on our own hardware. So I'm selecting Fargate, click on next. Now, what is the definition name? NGI NX is a name I'm giving. Nginx, latest, or anything you can give. So task role, it creates a role, ECS task execution role, you select it. That is a default service role. So network mode, it goes with VPC. What operating system? Linux operating system, Windows, I'm going with Linux. It's selecting the role. Now, what exactly I decided to run an Nginx, right? So that we can define under container definition. So click on add container. What is the container name? NGI NX. What is the image URI? NGI NX :latest. When I gave NGI NX :latest, now what happened? This image is in Docker Hub. This is the image. It goes to Docker Hub. It gets the image to AWS environment. It will try to run. Fine, we are getting this Nginx. It is going to run. But to run that Nginx web server, how much memory you want to give, how many CPUs you want to give. I'm taking 0.5 and 0.25 CPU. Okay. So if I run 2 tasks, how much resource consumption? 1 GB memory, half CPU. If I run 4 tasks, it will take 2 GB memory, 1 CPU consumption. So I told you with T2 Micro also we can deliver 2. Can we? T2 Micro comes with 1 CPU, 1 gigs of the RAM. So with 1 GB RAM, we can run 2 tasks, right? This is a memory and CPU for every individual task. So go and define the task here. Again, where the resource is going to be utilized? to run this Nginx. To run this Nginx, it is going to be utilized. Okay? To run Nginx, it will be utilized. Then scroll down, leave everything to blank, then click on create. Fine. A task definition is created. What the task definition will do? It will get image from Docker Hub. It will allocate 0.5 CPU, 0.5 memory, 0.25 CPU to run the task. Clear with the task definition part? Now, fine, task definition is ready. But where the task definition is going to run? Where we need to deploy it? So for that, we need to have a cluster. We need to have a Docker cluster. So for that, go to clusters, ECS cluster. Now, create a cluster. We prepared the template ready. To run the template, to place a template, we need a cluster. Click on create a cluster. Now, you need cluster with network only mode, or you want to go with the Linux operating system or Windows operating system, you can define. So if you are using Fargate, for use with Fargate, use this. So I'm selecting network only. Then click on next. Fine, the first step is completed. What is the cluster name? First step is task definition, now creating cluster. So my NGINX cluster is a name I'm giving. So do you want to create a new VPC to run this cluster? Select this option, select the VPC. What CIDR block you want to give, you can give it. Okay, so then scroll down, click on create. That's it, a cluster now created. Pretty straightforward. Okay, why? Because it is completely managed by AWS, right? So task definition is first, second is create cluster, third step is take the task definition, deploy into our cluster. Total 3 steps. First, task definition. It will ask us what is a mode. Fargate, EC2, external. Choose that. Then what image you want to give image URL. So then how much resource you want to give. So you gave that. So once that is completed, now create a cluster. Once cluster creation is completed, you can start creating tasks. If you create 10 tasks, 10 Nginx web servers will come. Every Nginx web server will use that 0.5 memory, 0.25 CPU. That is the mechanism. The resource wastage. Are we using anything for our, first of all, or do we have any operating system here? So are we wasting any resource for operating system? Not really. Okay, so the resource waste is less. So now this cluster is created. Go to tasks. Click on run new task. Now the task launch type is Fargate. Operating system family, you don't need to select anything. Just select the task definition. NGINX-latest is the one we created, right? So I'm selecting that Nginx latest. I'm selecting Nginx latest. In which cluster you want to deploy? Select the cluster. How many tasks? I need 2 tasks. That means 2 Nginx web servers. Then scroll down. What VPC? In what subnet you want to run this? And do you want to allocate public IP address? Yes. For every single task, one public IP address will come. Scroll down, click on run task. Now, you see here, 2 tasks are running. 2 tasks are running here. The desired state is running, current state is pending. So if you open these individual tasks, it will have a public IP address, you see here, and also a private IP address. Okay, both are in running state. Now grab the public IP address. You see, Nginx web page is delivering. Not only that, another public IP address also. Just to get output, I'm using public IP address, okay? But so we have two clusters. We have two clusters. So if you want to give single point of contact and all, what we can do? Add a load balancer, register with private IP address to the load balancer, and map a domain name and deliver it. Okay? So that is the mechanism. So in interview, if you got any question, you mention these things, and that is a very valid scenarios. First thing, we have a development team. Okay, the development team will prepare Docker image. Okay, so they will prepare the build. They will prepare the build, and once the Docker image is ready, we will push the Docker image to AWS environment. And the tasks created accordingly. So we are responsibility to update the task definitions. I told you, right, last week I faced an issue. What I did, without proper approvals and all, as one of my friend from dev team, he asked me to push something. Right. I updated the task definition. He prepared a task definition and he cannot update it. Okay. He asked me to update it. I updated it. And then we got an error. And that too, it's in a production environment. So immediately incident is raised, P2 incident, and call happened, and even PIR also happened. So the first question, why the deployment is breached? You should do deployments only over the weekend. So why it happened a weekday? I don't have any answer, right? So, so the thing is, yes, the task definition and all is updated. Okay, so we create task definition. So you should know what is task definition. You should know how to create a cluster. Okay, so then how to create a task. So this is too fine. And generally in organization, currently to demonstrate this ECS, I'm using a Nginx cluster, right? So that Nginx cluster is coming from this Docker Hub. It is pretty straightforward. Okay, but in organizations also, are we going to use this public and one? No. In organization, we create our own containers. The image is going to do our own work. Okay, so for that, the development team is going to create. But as I told you again, they are going to share this. Okay, where they will upload to ECR. You need to know the commands to push an image also. So here you see there is a ECR repository. There is a ECR repository. So what is the commands to push this? So first of all, you need to log in. Then you need to prepare a build. Then you need to add tag. Then this command will push. So these commands you need to execute in your local laptop. Then the image will come to AWS. So first login, then build, then tag, then push. These commands. Okay? Just remember the flow. That is okay. So that is a container mechanism. So it also comes under FreeTIRE eligibility, but make sure you delete. So if you give a try with this, make sure you delete after you practiced. Okay. So I know this is very, very high level overview about containers, not so in detail and all. So if you join a dedicated containers course and all, they will explain you how to create a Docker file, then how to push it, how to deploy it. So that again, they might explain with Kubernetes and all, but this is pretty simple. Kubernetes is so complex one. Okay, but this is pretty straightforward. So you mentioned, so in resume also you mentioned about ECS, ECR. When you got a question, you mention, okay, dev team is there. They will prepare image. So we are responsible to deploy that image to repository. So then we will create a task definition. We'll create a task on ECS cluster. You mentioned that. Okay. So instead of saying a big no to that containers and all, so you can mention, okay, we are exploring it. My job role is very limited in that process, and I do these tasks. So that interviewer definitely satisfies with that answer. Okay. So yeah, that is about containers mechanism. Now, if you're really interested about this container, if you want to learn these containers more, so there is a free course. Yeah. So here, this codecloud.com. So you see here, this is free. So you just need to sign up for this. Okay. It's a 3 hours, 75 minutes video, Docker for absolute beginners. So that is too useful. So you can gain more knowledge on what is Docker. So then you apply that mechanism in AWS. Okay. So this I personally recommend, first thing. And second thing, AWS itself have workshops as well as a YouTube series. The first one is ECS workshop. Within this workshop, Cloud9 is used. So you use Cloud9 and you deploy something into these containers. So everything is, AWS documentation, right? Step by step, well written. It's a workshop. Screenshot, explanation. Follow that if you're really interested about containers. Second thing is EKS workshop to learn Kubernetes. Third one, AWS YouTube series called Containers from Couch. See here, this is a Containers from Couch. Start from scratch. Okay, go to very long video, to very basic videos. So what exactly this? How we can deploy that? How to create a cluster? How to deploy the images and all? Go through this. Okay, so that is the second URL. Third URL I already mentioned. Fourth URL also. This is for free code camp, I believe. Yeah, this is for free code camp. So it's a full DevOps course. It's a 2 hours one only. Very simple one. So complete this. The same guy, whatever the guy I've shown you some time back, same guy taken this. So complete this 2 hours one. Then you can definitely talk about containers. So this is someone asked me about Terraform resources, right? So this is for Terraform. This is for Chef. Okay. So these are some helpful URLs I referred for learning and all. So definitely it helps you also. Okay. That is first thing. And these are CDK workshop, have a lot of workshops. You pick a workshop and you try to complete. This is if you want to deploy something with Python programming language and all. So this is Python SDK, Boto 3 module. So use that. And here you can find that SDK and all. So then this is again a YouTube video. So whoever missed that Git part, right? So you can follow this also. It's just 11 videos, very simple and straightforward ones. So you refer that also. Okay. Right. So the above link and this link is same. I will delete from here. All right. So, okay, this migration process is changed actually. I'm going to do a new video. Why? Because I got some time now. Once this batch is completed, right? I'm not planning to take any batch for coming 2 weeks, at least till January first week. I'm not going to take any new batch. So I'll definitely get some time. So I'll do a migration video. Even I have a couple of more videos to upload. Even that Azure also, some modules pending. Compute is completed, network is completed, account creation, basic things completed, but storage is pending, database is pending, just like AWS. So those also, if I get some time, definitely I'll complete that also and I'll upload it to YouTube. Okay. So whoever really interested, you can refer that YouTube.
Okay. Avinash,
Yes, please.
this Docker and Kubernetes is to deploy, like CI and CD pipeline.
We can. So if you want to implement CI/CD pipeline for this Kubernetes, yes, we can. The process is same. Whenever any commit happened, so if you take this,
Actually, when we'll use Docker and Kubernetes, we don't know that.
so the mechanism is simple. Same process. So here, whenever any commit happened to ECR, earlier what we discussed, whenever any commit happened to this code commit, this specific repository, the pipeline will take it and it will deploy. Now, similar way, if you want to automate that, so whenever any image is pushed to ECR, select the repository, okay, any specific tag. So then build not really required here. Why? Because that is an image. So I want to deploy it to ECS. So then what is a cluster? So if you have any cluster, so create a service. So then click on next. So then automatically whenever any developer build and whenever he pushed image to repository, this pipeline will trigger automatically and it is going to deploy automatically.
Okay.
The mechanism is same. There is no big difference in that mechanism. Tasks. I think I need to kill the tasks. Stop. All right. So refer that. It's still deleting. Okay. So yeah, that is about containers and all. So yeah, as I told you, we don't have session tomorrow. Yeah, it's sorry for that. So I thought as per our schedule, the course should complete Friday only, but it got extended to, and later I thought, okay, we can extend it to till Monday, but now it is extending for one more session. There is no technical things, actually, all regular things. How you can add points to your resume, how you can talk about your project. Okay. So then, so the regular things, if you have any regular questions, those all we will discuss. So we'll have that session on Wednesday, means 14th. Okay. So this is actually, yeah, I'm not able to postpone it. The thing is, even yesterday also I tried, so but I'm not able to. So we'll have session on 14th and we can close. Okay. So
Containers is nothing but you can avoid the resources, sir.
containerization?
Nothing but you can avoid the additional resources or what?
Resource wastage we are avoiding.
Oh, wastage resources avoiding. Huh?
Yes, yes. So the example is same, right? For example, you are staying in a 2 BHK, but you really don't require it.
Yes, sir.
So if you are using that another room for another purpose, so then you are fully utilizing it, right?
Yes, sir.
Same way, if you're taking an EC2 instance with high configuration, end of the day, if it is delivering only one application, resource wastage, right?
Yes, sir.
But same resource, we can deliver multiple. Yeah, that is a mechanism.
మీరు అది స్లాక్ లో పెట్టారు కదా అది డైలీ నోట్స్ అది డౌన్లోడ్ కావట్లేదు సార్.
It will download.
ట్రై చేశాను సార్.
So you're trying from mobile.
నో సార్, ల్యాప్టాప్ ఓన్లీ సార్.
So this download is not happening. Click on download. It's asking on top of desktop. I can save it. So you see here, download is happening. It's downloaded successfully for me.
డైలీ నోట్స్ దట్ వన్ సార్.
Daily notes also will happen.
ఇది ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ అయింది సార్, ఇది కాలేదు సార్. డైలీ నోట్స్ మొన్న మీరు
Final share. Okay, అవుతుందంట అండి. Just verify again.
ఓకే సార్.
Yeah.
సరే సార్, అనదర్ ల్యాప్టాప్ ట్రై చేస్తాను.
Not really required. In same laptop, you try whatever error it is showing, you just share that error. I'll try to look into it.
ఓకే సార్.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for today's session. See you again Wednesday, guys. Thank you.
Sir,
Yes, please.
can you upload what are the services required freshers?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about that on Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Avinash, one more thing.
Yeah.
Git link, can you share once again? For me, it's
It link once again. Sure. Yeah, shared in our chat box.